Hey, hey guys, what's up? It's me, Caesar here with Away TV, live from downtown Toronto. Today we got Miles and 13 here. I think they're from LA. Um, they are making some amazing music together, some trap super bangers, and we just wanna get in more on like what's going on with them and see what's going on.
Yep.
So, Miles, 13, tell me, where you guys from? Where did you guys grow up?
I'm originally from San Diego. I grew up there, like this small town. It's like a beach town called Encinitas. Um, and I fucking I live in Costa Mesa now, like in Orange County. I was living in LA for like 2.5 years. Lived in Chicago for like 5.5 years. I went to school out there.
Okay,
Um, but yeah, that's like where I'm from, where I grew up. San Diego, basically.
San Diego. And what about you, 13?
So I'm actually across the country. Miles and I linked in Orange County earlier this year when I moved out just to kind of get a change of pace. I was just working out in California. I'm from Connecticut originally, like 30 minutes outside of New York City.
Yeah.
So yeah, but this earlier this year I moved out to Cali just because ever since high school I've been like, yeah, I'm a music guy. I gotta go where the music is at. Moved out there, linked with him, and then we've been making bangers ever since. But yeah, I'm a Northeast guy from Connecticut.
Connecticut, all right. And how was Connecticut growing up? I passed through there on the train when I was like took the Amtrak Via Rail thing to New York from New York to Toronto.
Yeah, yeah. No, Connecticut's like kind of one of those states that you just pass on through. Honestly, Connecticut's not much going on here. It's very overlooked. We're kind of like New York and Massachusetts's little brother.
Yeah.
We've got a few big cities, and then we've got a lot of small towns. We've got a lot of forests. It's kind of a mix. It's kind of a mix here. But yeah, being in Connecticut, I don't really rep a lot of stuff from Connecticut. I'm like kind of in between, like I said, Massachusetts and New York City. So I'm more either in New York or I'm in Boston. I'm not really working much in the Connecticut area, especially
Okay,
when it
so,
comes to
so
music.
yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I want to ask you both, what got you into music? What was the what put the battery in your back to start making music?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
Should I go first? You want me to go first, Mike?
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
you
go
go
first.
first.
Um, I think like when I was like I've always loved music. Like I always like was the kid in like elementary school and shit that had like his headphones on all the time. But like what really like sparked my interest in music like at a young age was my sister had this like pink boom box and she's like 8 years older than me, so she would be listening to like Britney Spears and Avril Lavigne and like No Doubt and Lil Wayne. And when I was like a child, like one of my first memories is like going into her, she would like keep the boombox outside of her door when she would shower, and I would like go into her bedroom and just sit on her bed and listen to the music.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that was like what first sparked my interest, like when I was a child. And then from there, I just like always was listening to music, but I didn't start making music until 20, the end of 2015 to 2016. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I was just like sitting in, I used to live like, um, or my mom like converted the garage in our old crib, into like my room. It was a super dope room. Um, and I just like was sitting in there one day, I think like my sophomore year of high school. And well, I'd actually already been like kind of DJing a little bit, just like fucking around. I had like a Pioneer like little mixing board, something like
Yeah.
that. And I would just like fuck around and mix songs together in like middle school. But then like in high school is when I was just kind of like sitting in my room. I was like, let me try this music shit. I just had a feeling. I'm like, I feel like I can do this. Um, like right off the bat, I knew I could do it. Um, I just didn't know where to start. So me and my one friend, his name's Drew. Honestly, if it weren't for him, like I wouldn't have like gotten seriously into music because we split on this mic right here, which I use for
Yeah.
like gaming and streaming. It's like a fucking shitty USB Audio Technica. We split like 50-50 each way. So it was like $100. Um, and then we would just sit in my fucking room and like download beats off YouTube, classic like whatever
Yeah, the type
just
beat era.
like yeah, just like fucking classic like Joey Badass type beat, like just
Yeah.
boom bap type shit, and then uh
So you're
I like
making boom bap before you're making trap.
yeah, I mean I yeah, you could say that. I was just really like trying I was just trying shit. I didn't know like how to do anything. I didn't know how to write. Like I mean, I've had rhythm since I was a child. So like obviously I could like ride the beat, but what I was saying was bullshit. Like I didn't say anything in the songs. Um, and then I like started to like understand like melodies more and like singing and shit. But that's like how I got into like recording and making music. But it wasn't until I got to college in Chicago where I met like all my homies from out there, and they like put me on to Ableton, and they like blessed me with like some presets and shit, and then I just like like took off from there.
Yeah.
So
Okay. What about you, 13?
Yeah, so I mean, kind of similar to Miles, like I started making music on my own like 2015, 2016. Literally bought the same microphone that he just showed you like 8, 9 years ago. For me, I mean, early days, I grew up playing like in a band, like a marching band. I did like saxophone and drums and stuff like that. And then I think I was like 7 or 8 years old when I got a drum kit, and I was doing drums on and off, just playing on my own for till I was like 16. I want to say that's when I started doing like rap and shit like that. But I never really took off with it, but I would drum for bands here and there. I never did any shows. I would just go to like practices and play with the homies in the garage and shit. And then, yeah, when I was like 15, 16, I was a big like metalhead and like alternative rock guy. And something changed. Like I started to go to like just underground shows and seeing what's up in the rap scene in New York City, and I just fell in love with that shit. And ever since then, I got a mic, was doing the same thing that Miles was doing, just downloading beats off of YouTube, ripping shit, having the homies over, making songs with whoever wants to make songs. And then when I got to college, I started to meet some more people that took it a little more seriously. And back then
Yeah.
I was rapping from like 2015 until like 2019, I want to say. And I never really took myself seriously. You know, I was a lot of the lyrics I was talking about wasn't really stuff that I was doing in my real life. So I had some sit downs with some of the homies that were taking it seriously, and they were like, "Hey, I mean, you know, you don't have to rap. I can tell that like it's a struggle for you. You don't really know what you're doing. It's they're basically telling me there's other ways to do it, like making beats or, you know, being a mixing engineer or, you know, a DJ, a promoter. I didn't really know that. I was just a kid that was ripping SoundCloud beats or YouTube beats in my bedroom back in the day, and it never really
Yeah.
evolved, if you know what I mean. But yeah, in college I had that talk with some homies, and then 2020 hit and COVID hit, and I got real bored, and I downloaded FL Studio on my MacBook, and then ever since then I've been grinding out beats just because literally it came out of boredom. I was like, I don't really want to rap anymore. I don't know how to make music. Let me just figure something out. And COVID was really a blessing with giving me that time away from college and work to actually focus on my passion.
Yeah.
And you know, here I am 4 years later doing that shit full time, and I really love it. I've met a lot of great people from it, like Miles and many other artists. So yeah. And on top of that too, last thing I'll add, my father was in a band ever since he was like 12 and 13. He still does band practices at the age of 63. He's actually got a show in a couple of months, and it
Nice.
kind of just runs in the family too. So yeah, I've just been around music ever since I can remember.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, well, let me just pull up my questions. What's the what's the main message in your music? Like Miles, what's the main message in your music
Um,
so far?
I think like it's changed in the past year, um, like a lot. I think I don't know, like my music, I like it to sound kind of like apart from like the hard trap shit, like that's I'm like having fun. Like I don't think there really is like a message in that shit. Um, but like on this new project that me and Max like are gonna put out soon, there's definitely a message. I think it's like I don't know, I want to like portray my life in like a super honest way and like just tell people like what can happen when you like struggle with like addiction and you can like get out of your like normal state of mind and shit and like dealing with like bad habits and stuff like that and like seeing it from like a positive end. I think like my music in the past kind of I was like representing maybe something that I'm not completely. And now in the past year, like a lot has changed in my life, a lot of like personal challenges I went through. So I'm like really trying to be like my music is like dark, but it's like has a positive, like at the end of everything, you're kind of like, oh, there's kind of like a positive tone to this, I feel like. Um, so I don't know. I think like my message in my music is just like kind of like feel good music, but also just like realistic music. It's not like bullshit, you know?
Yeah,
Um, I don't know. Yeah, I think yeah, my music is like constantly changing, like from one project to the next. Like the last project I put out was a fucking pop project. Like where
yeah,
I like and then this one is like I mean me and Max call it like ambient drill, even though it's probably not technically drill, but
yeah,
it's like ambient music with like hard hitting 808s.
Mhm.
Um so I don't know. It's hard for me to answer that question because I kind of just like make music, but like with this album it's kind of like a um kind of a concept album, I guess. It's like called Atelier, which means in French, like it translates to workshop. And
yeah,
the whole idea of the album is to be like I'm working on myself completely. Like everything I'm doing in my life is different from what I did like a year and a half ago. And I'm like trying to portray that in my music. And I just hope like other people kind of hear it. I mean, like some of my best friends have said, like when I've shown them the shit so far, like they like how much I'm being like raw about my life and like I'm being honest more than ever. So I don't know.
yeah,
I'm always really honest in my music. Like I've always been honest, even since the first time I was telling you about when I fucking recorded in my room. But like, and now it's obviously 8 years later, however long later, like it's much more like thought out and stuff. But I would say
yeah.
that's kind of my answer to that. It's sorry.
I got something to say on the struggle with addiction because I noticed in your song you said you were stuck in the mud.
Yep.
Your support in the day. You're stuck in the mud. Do you think how what do you
Mhm.
think like what part do you think drugs play in music? Because like musicians and drugs have like gone together for forever.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what role do you think that they play like in your music and stuff like that? And I'm asked the same question at 13.
Yeah. I think I think for a long time, like I mean, okay, so to answer the question, like why is it such a big thing in music? I think partly it's you do it to get away from like I know as an artist like ego is crazy and you envy a lot. You see other people doing better than you. Also drugs help in like a creative process like as much as drugs are shitty like that is like true. You can't really argue that, but it's also true that you can be creative without drugs. Like I haven't done anything in over 10 months and I'm fucking more creative than ever. So
Yeah.
it's like a it's just yeah, I mean drugs are fucking bad. Like I'm like I talk about drugs because it was a part of my life for quite a long time. Um and I
Yeah.
probably will continue to talk about it because like I said, I'm like trying to be honest about everything. Um but I think it's just like a weird like you see a lot of artists die from drugs and shit. It's like really
Yeah.
just super sad. We've had a lot of like really big artists like influential artists in our time die. I mean, even in the past, but I don't know. I think especially when you're up, like when you're super, super up and you're like mad famous, like it kind of like takes away from all the anxiety and shit. But then that
Yeah.
anxiety just builds and builds more because you're fucking high all the time. And then when you're sober, you're even more anxious. So it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
um, yeah, I think like if you want to do drugs, you can, but just be fucking careful about it because if you do too much, you'll either die or something bad will happen. I don't know. I'm happy to be fucking stay sober the rest of my life, honestly. That's what I want to do. So,
Yeah. Staying
Yeah.
sober. Cool.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm in the same boat as Miles with all that stuff, 100%. I've been off of like, like substances were a big part of my life ever since probably like almost a decade ago now, since I was like 14, 15. And yeah, it's been I've been off everything, weed included, all that stuff for 8 months now. And back in the day, like when I was rapping and like just doing stuff with the homies, making music just to create, it was like the drugs, whatever it was, kind of brought us together. It kind of put us in the same room, and then we all figured out, oh, we kind of like this type of music. Maybe we want to make some music. I kind of noticed that the drugs were a little bit of a stepping stone just to like bring people together, and then we found those common interests. You know what I
yeah.
mean? But as we got older, obviously it's not feasible to keep, doing drugs when you're going to college or you're trying to work full time, you're trying to move out, you're trying to do this. It's either hurting your wallet, it's either hurting your physical, your mental health, whatever it may be. And, a lot of people kind of get lost in translation and they just keep it a part of their routine, until they crash and burn. And yeah, I was dealing with some personal struggles throughout last year too, and it was in my best interest to get sober and just like focus on myself because I wasn't putting the time in to take care of myself. I was feeling kind of shitty last year and got sober this year. And the funny thing is, like, there's a lot of people that say you can't like make music without the drugs, or like they won't be able to do it without the drugs. Like for me it was
yeah.
completely opposite. Like I started making the best music of my life when I got sober. I mean, I made this album with Miles. Is probably my favorite thing that I've ever done by far. So compared to the last like 3.5 years of production that I did while I wasn't sober, the last 6 months of sobriety and music that I've done is tenfold of what I was doing when I wasn't sober and I was fucked up like for the past like 3.5, 4 years. So
Yeah.
sobriety and just like I think you can separate it. I think the drugs, like I said, are a stepping stone to get you around certain people with common interests. But at the same time, it's not necessary. But it's from person to person. Like it really depends. But for me, I know I proved it to myself. I don't need that shit. I can create without it, and I can do better without it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if I can add anything to that, I think like Max would agree on me or agree with me on this is like um as much as like that part of our life was like stressful, anxiety ridden, fucked up and shitty, it's like we're both grateful that like we came out on the other side and we're like capable of doing this shit now that
yeah.
we're doing. Because like without that we wouldn't have really like met honestly or be like as locked in and
Hmm.
like we I don't know. I think like both me and Max's mindsets on like music has completely changed. It's like, bro, like this music shit is like really all I got. Like, like I
Yeah.
have a cool job, like, but like all I fucking think about all day is like music and like what I can do next and like how to change and
Mhm.
shit, which is
Yeah,
like,
it's your passion.
yeah, it's like a beautiful thing. So yeah, I'm like grateful. Like I said, me and Max are probably the same. Like grateful that all that shit happened as much as it was shitty. It's like everything is meant to happen, I think, in some weird way. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw a whole lot of cheese in your video.
hmm
That's actually how I found out about the video. She posted it,
yeah,
and I'm like, how'd you link up with her, bro? She's doing some pretty crazy stuff right now with her voice and
I know
with
she's
her beats
popping.
and stuff. Yeah, she's popping now.
Um, she's so how do I say? Basically my one of my best friends. His name's Kishore. I was
Yeah,
living with him for like a year and a half, but I've known him since like 2017. But he's known Cheese and her sister B for like a long time. And I've met B like a few times maybe, but when we went and shot the Bottega video, like Cheese and B were happened to be staying at Key's crib. Um, and I was just like, you guys should pull up to the video and just like be in it and shit. And so they just pulled up, but yeah, Cheese is the homie. We actually I can't really say much right now, but hopefully something cool will be coming with her soon.
yeah, that'd be
Uh,
sick.
On the way.
yeah, yeah. But yeah,
Yeah,
she's the homie, and I'm fucking super stoked to see what she's doing right now. It's like crazy to see all these folks like tapping in with her, like all of a sudden, like it's like a crazy like viral moment. I'm super
Yeah.
hyped for her.
yeah. People are calling her a crash out online because she's because of all the guns and shit and all the the lyrics and shit.
Yeah, I
And I
think
think I don't think she's a crash out. I think
no,
that she's like I
no,
think
Cheese
she's
knows
pretty.
what she like knows what she's doing, bro. That's all I can
Yeah,
say. Like she's not like she's not actually. I mean, yeah, she knows what she's doing, bro.
yeah,
So yeah, hopefully something cool soon with her.
yeah. That'd be sick, bro. Looking
That'd be
forward to
sick.
that.
Fuck yeah, me too.
So I'm gonna ask you a question that's not music related. What do
First,
you guys are both Americans, so what do you think about this election next month?
uh, I don't know, bro. I don't give a shit about politics, bro. To be completely real, like
Yeah,
I see all these ads like when I'm like on YouTube and shit, and it's just like endless fucking like um political ads. I'm just like so over it. Also, I'm just
yeah,
like, bro, I don't know. I think like our generation, um, like really just doesn't care too much about politics as much as like maybe like the older generation, like our parents and shit.
yeah,
Um, I mean, obviously, like, bro, I believe in like social equality and like all that shit. Like that's like an obvious. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, I don't really have an opinion on it. Like, I don't really give a fuck.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously,
I'm
I
kind of
want our country to be fucking cool, but our country is like I don't know, it's in a weird place, I think.
yeah. I'm kind of in the same boat as Miles. Like I do, I have my own opinions and this and that, but like, when I feel like when our generation, like the kids that are like, ages like I want to say like 21 to like late 20s, I feel like, when all of us got a little bit older and like I said, I talked about COVID before when like 2020 hit and politics was really on the forefront with everything going on. Um, a lot of my friends that I had back then, everyone had different opinions and they were very vocal about it on social media. And if one of my friends disagreed with another friend when it came to a political opinion, or they didn't support this, or repost this, then it would be a problem. And honestly, back in like 2020 and 2021, when, there's a lot of political issues going on. Not to say there aren't now, there's a shit ton more now, but when it was on the forefront during COVID, it actually took a lot of my friends like away from each other. Like if anyone had a different opinion, you supported the left, you supported the right, I don't fuck with you no more. So ever since
Yeah.
that kind of happened, like my friend group dissolved a little bit. Political opinions kind of tore people apart. So
Oh shit.
I kind of got my own opinions. I don't really express them. I don't really care too much about it. This election's really stressful on either side, whatever you pick. But
Yeah.
I've just seen politics kind of bring people apart. And it's not something that I like to bring up with other people now just because like I'm like, if your opinion's different,
Yeah.
what are you gonna think of me? So I don't really care for it that much anymore. It's kind of just something that I put in the corner of the room and I'm like, yeah, I'll talk about it when we get to it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Politics can definitely be divisive
Hmm.
because there's a lot of like, that could be like some politics are like, about like, like for instance, like black people, our politics, like it's linked to like our like survival, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's like, there's people that you got fascists that want to like literally kill black people or at least make their own white nation
Yeah.
where no one else is allowed. There's this crazy things going on in the states. A lot of right wing militias.
Hmm.
Um, and always wondered how that affects the artists, like and stuff like that. Like the war in Ukraine, they were having raves.
Hmm.
They're still having raves. They're still like going out. They're still partying.
Yeah.
And yeah, like the music too is like music. It can be political too. Like depending on what you support and stuff like that. But like, I kind of like appreciate that your music doesn't have a political ideology to it or anything because, like, I'm an anarchist personally. Like, I don't really like believe in any form of government, to be honest.
Hmm.
And I think that like the less, like like I think that the best thing for people to do is just to organize locally. Um, have your friends and do what you think is right. Everybody kind of knows what's right.
Yeah.
Uh,
I would say everyone.
well, not every, yeah, not everyone. That's
Yeah.
true. Like P Diddy and shit like that.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
But yeah, I think that like people can govern themselves basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
say like yeah, I would never like really talk about I've said like certain things like shit, but like I try to avoid shit like that. Like I want people to just listen to my music. I don't like if they have an opinion on my music, that's cool, but like I don't need to
Yeah.
like express my political views in my music. Like that's not what my shit's about. I just make music
Yeah.
because I love it. It makes me feel good. It's like my diary type shit. So
I feel
I
you.
don't I don't need to like involve myself in that. I don't know. It is like yeah, I don't know. Politics are weird. I don't like I'm not it's not something I'm interested in at all, for sure.
Yeah.
I like fucking making music, like fashion. I like playing video games and fucking chilling with my cats and
Oh,
hanging
you got
out.
cats?
Yeah, I don't know where they
Show
are.
show me show me your cat.
He's a baby. He's
Echo,
like
shout out.
he's like 4 months old.
Oh, look at him. It's a tabby.
Yeah, he's a long guy.
Yeah. He's like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah, he's the homie. I just got him like a month ago, a month and a half ago.
Oh, nice. What's its name?
Echo, after
Echo?
Echo 2K.
Echo 2K? Yeah, fuck.
Mhm.
I fuck with that.
Yeah, he's
Me and
like one
my
of my favorite artists. So I'm like,
Yeah, I
named
was
my
gonna.
cat after him.
On that note, who are some of your influences besides Echo 2K? Who's some of your influences like musically?
Um, it's just like I was trying to even think about this earlier. I think like um, I love I like all music honestly, but I guess my biggest influences would be like Thug, Young
Free Thug,
Lean.
Young Lean.
I love Lucky. I grew up on like Lil Wayne, but I also grew up
Okay.
on like Dave Matthews Band and fucking John Mayer.
Yeah.
Um, who else? Like I fuck with like Shed Theory and like Joey and all those fools, like that type of weird, just like avant-garde ambient music.
Yeah.
Um, who else? I love like Vegan. He's like a producer. He like made Nights by Frank Ocean. He's super raw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think my yeah, like for rappers, it's like Thug, Young Lean, Lucky, um, Joey, and then like Isaiah Rashad is like one of my favorite artists of all time.
What about Isaiah TG?
Fuck with Isaiah. That dude, Isaiah TG, dude, bro. Isaiah TG's music is like
He goes hard.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to describe it. Like his shit is so like I mean you could say overlooked, but that dude is fucking raw. Like that dude's so good at making music.
All right. Here's a twist that you're not gonna believe. So, you know his song "I Eat Humans," right?
Yeah.
And in it, he says, "I got Jew ties," right?
Uh-huh.
So there's this like IDF squad or whatever, like this like, because like IDF, like the soldiers are actually pretty young because they get conscripted and stuff like that. Israeli Defense Force. So they made they made like a TikTok to
I seen
I
that. I
humans.
seen
Have you
that.
seen that? Yeah,
So
you saw it,
funny.
right?
Yes,
The
so
girl's kind of
funny.
cute. Yeah, it
That
was.
shit is hilarious.
Yeah, so and then but Isaiah TG's response was like, "Since you love my music, can you stop killing children?"
Yeah, fucked. So
Jesus.
fucked.
Yeah, man. So who's somebody you wouldn't want bumping Miles Bryant, or is Miles Bryant for everybody?
It's a good question.
That is a really good question. Um, shit, dude. I don't know. I don't know if I wouldn't want anyone like in particular to not listen to me. I think I'm probably for everyone. Like in my head, I'm for everyone, but I don't think I'm like truly. I don't think if everyone can listen to my music. Like I think
Yeah,
it's like all artists, like Billie Eilish is a fucking massive artist, but not everyone listens to her, you know what I mean? Or
yeah,
like Charlie XCX with like the whole brat shit, like
yeah. That was
ev
pretty crazy.
everyone listens to it, but like grandparents don't listen to fucking Charlie. Like you
Yeah,
know what I mean? So I don't know. I think for like our generation, um, folks can like understand me and it's for them, but and for like the younger generation too. But I wouldn't say there's anyone that I wouldn't want listening. Like shit, if fucking some crazy dictator wants to listen to my music, he can listen to my music. That don't mean that I'm gonna support, bro. Like,
yeah. True, true,
like
true, true, true,
I'm
true.
getting like if he streams my shit, bro, it's money in my pocket. So I don't
Yeah,
give a shit. I'm not paying
Yup.
him. So
Yup.
yeah. I
yeah,
feel
that's what
that.
I would say.
Yeah, Kim Jong Un was started bumping Bottega.
That would be OD. That would be
That would be pretty
crazy,
hard.
bro.
I think that would be pretty hard actually.
That's a viral moment.
Because
That
you saw
is.
Trump actually had net spend on one of his
I saw that.
yeah, he used a net spend song on his fucking on one of his campaign ads on TikTok.
I saw that. I saw
It's
that.
so funny. It's just like, oh my God, it's so weird.
Have
Like,
y'all seen the video of Trump and Aiden Ross in the car, and
Yeah.
Aiden Ross is just bumping "Nothing Like You" by Netspend, and he's like, "What do you think of this?"
Yeah.
It was just such a weird moment in history, bro. It's like why is Netspend colliding with Trump, colliding with the streamers and that's just like everything is coming together, bro. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Like Netspend's tough though. I think a lot of people just like it's so weird, like the kind of to switch gears, I guess, like the amount of hate. Like I think I don't know, it's so weird. Like I understand why people could hate Netspend, but like his music is good. I don't know.
Yeah. I think his music is getting better. Like
Yeah,
his older music was like not as good, but his newest stuff is like amazing. It's like nothing like
Yeah.
you, fuck swag. That one song that Deftones cleared the sample for, and then revoked their clearance.
Yep. Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
And then he got like 8 songs take on Spotify taken down.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
That whole scene is just like super tough. Like my I went to an Xavier So Bass show because my homie is actually Xavier So Bass' brother. He did his
Really?
name, yeah, his name's Nurse. He actually did the album cover for Atelier for the album. But yeah, I like got to go backstage and like meet all those fools, and I was like on stage at that show. It was super cool. I was talking to a Nurse about it. I'm like, bro, you must be so proud of your brother because like seeing the energy in that room, it was like 2016, 2017 era, like all over again. All these like
Yeah.
all these young ass kids like in the crowd and on stage, like bro, that shit was so cool to see. It's just like
Yeah.
beautiful to see like music, um, like bringing folks together again. I feel like we went through like a weird little like stage of music. I don't know. It's just cool. I think music's in a really, really good place right now.
Yeah. I think music videos are in a really good place right now too. With like fuck swag, the music video for that was amazing.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that's been I think he has some of the hardest music videos out right now because of that one song when he starts levitating. Like, who thought of that? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's
I
just
was
flying around
insane.
and shit. Like,
You know that's from like an old commercial.
yeah. Oh yeah, I think so.
Forget what company or whatever, but
Yeah, I don't know the company, but I think I saw where the guy's flying in the field.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think
So
music's just in a cool spot where people are like being creative, especially like the visual
that's me off the
representation of
perk.
everything.
That's me
Yeah.
off the perk.
Low in.
Floating in a field.
Floating in a field, bro, levitating.
Hell yeah.
Drink, drink, drink. Yeah, man.
Nah,
That
shout out Netspend. That's I feel like ever since like not ever since Netspend, but like I feel like kind of like others like Yeet and some of the other guys that are big now that weren't big like 3 or 4 years ago. I feel like just like ever since like 2020, music has been just coming back to that 2016 era. Like Miles was saying, like you're seeing people much younger tapped in. You're seeing people doing like actual different styles and not just carbon copies of Playboy Cardi or whoever the hell they're trying to emulate. You know what
yeah.
I mean? I don't know. People are just like kind of paving their own way again. I think people kind of got bored from like 2017 to 2020. Everyone was, still bumping like XXX Temptation, fucking like Juice World, Peep, like a lot of the heavy hitters. Like there's a
Yeah.
list of long names. And I was just kind of getting old. Like after people were bumping it for a few years, they were just like, we need something new. And then I feel like, 2020, like Yeet and like Slay World and like a lot
Yeah.
of other artists back then just started making new sounds and then people just started to run with that. Nowadays, the people trying to emulate those sounds, I feel like there isn't a lot of copying anymore nowadays. Even if you kind of sound like someone, everyone's got their own gimmicks and their own sounds and creative genius. So I feel like there isn't a lot of copying going on, is what I'm trying to say nowadays. Like everyone's kind of doing their own thing and that's what's cool.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like art is meant to be copied. Like you have to
Yeah.
take inspiration from somewhere.
Hmm.
Like obviously maybe like copy is kind of like a shitty term, but
Yeah.
I mean like the best like actual like painting artists, like they had inspiration from others, you know? Like I don't know. It's really I think it's cool to see someone like take their inspiration and then like and like take little parts from each of it and make their own little sauce. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, yeah, actually, I think that's pretty good. You guys got anything you want to say before you wrap up?
Atelier coming soon. It's like
Very soon.
13 song album. Got some cool features on there. Got some just fucking good music. Bunch of music videos for it. Want to put out some merch for it, but definitely look out for that in the coming future. Within this year, hopefully in the next month or two. I just gotta figure out some shit with DistroKid.
Yeah.
Fucking
So
distro, kid.
Fucking distro kid, bro.
Dude. No, I'm on the same page as Miles though, man. Atelier is coming soon. We got big project. I think we're both very passionate about it. There's a lot of cool stuff on there. We already got 2 singles out. Bottega is out. Shout out my boy Nico on that beat. Music
Yeah.
video was sick. Stevie killed the video. And then we got Glue, the song that Miles and I just did that was hosted by Shadow Wizard Money Gang. Shout out them for the hosts.
Yeah, they're
That's
Canadian.
yeah. Shout out, I think Montreal.
Montreal, yeah.
Yep. I was just there last year. Montreal's super dope. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I think we got a lot of cool stuff coming. I've got some stuff coming personally too. I'm working on a little producer album where I'm going to be featuring a lot of artists. Miles is one of them. A lot of
Yeah.
people from across the country, people on the East Coast, people on the West Coast, maybe some people that aren't even in the US. Who knows? But yeah,
Yeah.
Atelier is coming soon. I got a lot of music coming soon, and I think the last few months of this year are going to be really exciting, creative wise for Miles and I for sure.
Yeah.
yes, sir.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, this has been Myles Bryant and 13 and Caesar over here. So, yeah, I think that's about it, guys. That wraps it up. I'm gonna stop recording now.
Oh
And
yeah,
Cool. Thank you, bro.
yeah,
thanks, dude.
that's about it.